All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about backwards motors or motors running backwards. This is something that occurs, it depends on what direction you set up your table, and since every shop is different, this is something that we run into naturally. This is something, sort of a calibration that you're going to have to do when you initially set up your table. And that is to make sure that directionally speaking, we have everything going in the correct direction. That is to say, if we're to go into Mach 3 and I'm down at my keyboard, when I am looking at my table with this as the front, so I'm able to see the front of this torch here and the WCNC on the plate. If I go left, it goes left. If I go right, it goes right. If I go up, it goes away from me. If I go down, it comes towards me. If I hit page up, the z-axis goes up, and if I hit page down, the z-axis goes down. Now, if any of these are wrong, let's say if you hit down and it goes away from you and you hit up and it comes towards you, or if any of those are opposite of what I've just said in that previous, so I'm going to again say left is left, right is right, up is away from us, down is towards us, page up is z-axis up, page down is z-axis down. If any of these are incorrect, we're going to have to adjust that setting. Now, for the X and the Z-axis, because there's only one motor on the X-axis and one motor controlling the Z-axis, that little adjustment we're going to make is going to be relatively simple. The Y-axis is also a simple switch, but it's important to note that the Y-axis, the away from us and towards us function here, that's the Y-axis. That has two motors running it. So whatever we do to one motor, we have to do to the other. And especially if we're changing the direction of the motor, if we only do it to one, it's going to cause this entire this entire X-axis gantry to bind because they'll be going in opposite directions. And we don't want that to happen. So we need to make sure that whatever we do to one motor, if we're dealing with the towards us and away from us, we do to the other motor. So one motor, two motor, and whatever we do, and that's the Y motor and the A motor, and you'll see that that's actually visible here on the control box, the Y and the A. So let's go ahead and do that switch. We go into, let's see here, come on mouse. We're gonna go into config, motor tuning. Oh, I am sorry. I went by default there. Config, ports and pins, motor outputs, and then we're going to go under DIR low active. If my left and right is wrong, then that's my X-axis. So I can change the direction by clicking on here and switching it from whatever it is currently. It may not match what's on my screen, but switching whatever it is currently and then hitting OK and moving on. If your Y-axis, your towards us and behind us, is opposite, then we're going to have to go to our DIR low active, that's direction low active, and we're going to have to click here, and then we're going to have to go to our A motor and click here as well. So we're going to have to do this and switch these for both Y and A, otherwise we'll get binding. And then same thing with the Z-axis, if it's opposite, then we're going to have to go ahead and click here to switch that, hit OK, and then the system's going to, by default, make you hit reset. And at that point, you can then check and make sure that your motors are in fact going the correct direction, and you should be good to go from there. But this is how we deal with the directions, and this is how we switch them. If you have other questions, please feel free to reach out.